Hello everyone, I'm going to produce a series of videos for you focusing on practical examples with the SCL portal software. A summary of tutorials that will be shown connecting the PLC to HMI, PLC programming and PLC simulation, creating screens in the HMI simulation, and finally displaying on mobile with Webserver. Naturally, many issues are easier to explain with examples. In this video, which is an example from the Siemens site, and I will put the link to the Siemens site below this video, it teaches how to program the Siemens S7-1200 PLC and how to control and monitor it on HMI and panel. That is, by watching this series of videos, which is the first part, you can have an easier start with the world of PLCs and simultaneously have control on HMI and mobile, which is an amazing. Manually watering plants can be very time consuming, especially in the hot and dry seasons. The well-being of plants should be ensured on a daily basis. Not only does it take an enormous amount of time, but you also compromise your flexibility. If you are absent for a longer period of time, you need someone to take care of the plants. The solution demonstrates how you can automate your irrigation with the Siemens S7-1200 and solenoid valve. I divide the area to be watered into zones. Each of our zones has a modular design and can be created in two different operating modes. Control our zones via timer or in a manual mode. You take the water from the water tank or the public water supply system. Thanks to its modularity and flexibility expandability, you can use the application examples for a wide variety of irrigation tasks. Whether in the greenhouse or the agriculture, in private or public gardens, even in sport facilities, this example is used. After water tank is full, the irrigation system will start and the area to be irrigated is divided into four modular zones, each controlled by the CPU via solenoid valve. Each zone is assigned parameters that can be set independently of the one another. One such parameter is, for example, the duration for which a zone is irrigated. The irrigation system provides two different operating modes: manual mode, automatic mode. In manual mode, using the corresponding buttons on the HMI or on the smartphone, it is possible at any time to start, pause, and cancel watering of the individual zones. In automatic mode, the adjustable time defines the start time from which the zones are watered one after the other. In total, three function blocks are created and placed in OB1. I have floats FB, timer FB, and irrigation FB. In this video, the floats function block is presented. The float function evaluates the level of the water tank via the float switch. If the water tank is empty, the pump must stop, otherwise it may be damaged. Note: if you operate the system directly at the water connection instead of the water tank, you can remove the float function from the program. The water source is the tank, which is monitored by two floats. The level monitoring prevents the water tank from becoming empty. Monitoring provides three states: red, yellow, and green. As soon as the level falls below the lowest float switch float's bottom, the monitoring is in the red state. Watering is interrupted both in manual and automatic mode. It is only continued when the level exceeds the top float switch float top again, and the monitoring has assumed the status screen. Therefore, position the top float switch at the height that makes sense for you. I open TIA portal, I create new project and name it greenhouse. I add a new device, CPU S7-1200. That my model is here. I click next and next, then finish. I define IO tags. I00 and name it float top as bool, and float bottom, and the address is I01. Okay. First, I create FB in SCL language and name it floats. I define input, output of the floats FB. Float top, float bottom, as input, and for output I add a state. Data type is integer, use integer, unsigned integer, and another value is stop, that is bool, and error as bool data type. According to this table, I write a program. If float top and float bottom is 0, so state is red. In a green state, we have float top is 1 and float bottom is 1. And in yellow state, the float bottom is 1 and float top is 0. And in error state, float top is 1 and float bottom is 0. And maybe the sensor corrupt. In SCL programming, first I define false for error to initialize error value. So I clear error in first line of code. So I write a program regard of table I said before. This is first row of table. This if is true when float top and float bottom sensor are not detect the water. So the tank is empty. The state is 1, and the state is red, and tank is the empty. Motor must be in stop mode to avoid working dry situation. And stop is true. Float top is 0 and float bottom is 0, so state is red. Okay. I had not because the float bottom is 0 in this state. This is second row of table. This if is true when float top detect water and float bottom sensor is not detect the water. So this is error state because float top is up of float bottom. The state is 0. This is the state of error, and the error is true. I show the table in the second row. Float top is 1 and float bottom is 0, so state is error. This is third row of table. This if is true when float top not detect the water and float bottom sensor is detect water. Tank is not empty but not full. And state is 2. This is state yellow. Float top is 0 and float bottom is 1 and state is yellow. This is fourth row of table. Tank is full and pump can start. So stop is false. State is 4. The state of green and the stop is false. Is false. I show the table. Float top is 1 and float bottom is 1, so state is green. Okay. I add end if in end of my if. I add new block as a data block and name it control. Using open1, I add a state value of floats as integer type, stop floats and error floats as a bool type. Stop floats as bool type, and error floats as bool type. I add floats FB to OB1, and this is automatically a data block created. I add a float tab tag for input and float bottom as input. My asset in control DB is state. My step is in a control DB is step floats, and in error I add control error floats. I right click on the program blocks, add new groups, and name it DB for categorize my DBs, and add float DB to DB group. I save the project and compile it to find any errors. The compiling is finished and the error is 0. In device configuration, in properties, in Ethernet address, I add 120. This is my PLC address. It must be in range of my laptop. And I download the project to the PLC. I add a start search, and the PLC find it. I click on load, and the program load to the PLC. Okay, I click in finish, and go online. So everything is green. And start the CPU. Then go online to simulate the program. As you can see, this is the first line is true. If not float top and not float bottom is true, and asset is 1. I need to change the I00 and I01 in the float top and float bottom, so I use force table to change it. Force value is true, If I click in false, you can see what is the changes. Okay, full top is 1 and full bottom is 1. So this line is true. And state is 4. If I change float bottom as false and force it, this line is true. And if full top is false and full bottom is true, so this line is true. The program working correctly. This was first part of videos. Please do not forget like, subscribe and comment. Thanks for watching.